Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, peace be upon you. Here is a quick, brief analysis about the parallels between Golo devised by Abdullah Hashim Abbasadi salam and the crowd by Gustave Le Bon. At first glance, Golo devised by Abdullah Hashim, the crowd, a study of the popular mind by Gustave Le Bon, appear to be entirely different in both scope and purpose. One delves into individual ethics, wisdom and self-improvement, while the other investigates mass psychology, crowd behavior and the consequences of a collective action. However, a deeper analysis reveals interesting parallels between these two works, particularly in the treatment of individual agency, the influence of external forces of behavior, and the impact of societal movements on the individual. These shared themes suggest that both authors are concerned with the tension between individual rationality and collective emotion, albeit from different perspectives. And of course, if we contemplate about that notion that the themes are both authors are concerned with the tension about rationality and collective emotion, this is evident if you read the Golo devised by Abbasadi, because collective emotion and collective thought, which is called hive mind, it works differently on the different levels. For example, it is a different kind of thought that from the Islamic perspective, I'm talking about the perspective of Sunni Islam, Shia Islam, and different denominations of Islam. So between that, this is clear that Golo devised is showing exactly that, what I said, like tension between individual rationality and collective emotion. So, firstly, the nature of the individual versus the mass. One of the most striking parallels between Abdullah Hashim al-Abbasadi salam and Le Bon is their exploration of the relationship between the individual and the collective. Both authors are interested in how individuals behave when they are part of a larger group, and they both touch upon the tension that exists between the rational self and the overpowering influence of external forces. In Golo devised, Abbasadi salam emphasizes the importance of cultivating wisdom and maintaining one's individuality in the face of social pressures. For Abbasadi salam, wisdom is guiding force that allows an individual to maintain moral clarity, ethical direction, and spiritual strength. He advocates for individuals to rise above the distractions and irrational tendencies that often dominate collective societal life. His work encourages individuals to develop their inner wisdom, which acts as a compass in navigating life's complexities. The wise individual is capable of distinguishing between fleeting impulses and lasting meaningful goals. In contrast, Le Bon's The Crowd explores how individuals, when submerged in the collective identity of a crowd, tend to lose their rational capabilities and succumb to the emotional and impulsive nature of a group behavior. Le Bon suggests that in the anonymity of a crowd, individuals often behave in ways that would never consider acting on their own. The individual, according to Le Bon, becomes subsumed in collective identity of the crowd, losing sight of personal reason and moral responsibility. In this way, Le Bon portrays the mass as a force that weakens the individual's capacity for sound judgment and moral decision-making. Despite the differing outlooks, Abbasadi's focus on the empowerment of the wise individual versus Le Bon's emphasis on the danger of group dynamics, both authors recognize the potential for the individual to either assert or lose control over their own behavior in the face of external pressures. And Abbasadi calls for strengthening of individual wisdom, while Le Bon warns about the overwhelming influence of mass movements of individual thought. So here is a key difference between Le Bon and Abbasadi. Basically, Abbasadi Abbasadi calls for strengthening of one's individual wisdom, that all people, all son of Adam, basically strive to be more wise, to get closer to God, and recognize why are they existing on this planet. And Le Bon, on the other hand, warns about the influence of mass movements on individual thought. Basically, how the mass is telling the individual basically to not think certain thoughts or are forbidding the individual from thinking certain thoughts. The second point is rationality versus emotionalism. Another area where these works intersect is the treatment of rationality versus emotionalism. So both authors acknowledge that human beings are not purely rational actors and that emotions play a significant role in decision making, whether at the individual or collective level. Abbas Sadiq's Ogolo the Wise advocates for the development of intellectual and spiritual wisdom as a means of transcending emotional impulses. According to Abbas Sadiq, wisdom allows an individual to act with purpose and clarity, avoiding the traps of superficial desires and transient emotions. For Abbas Sadiq, the wise person is one who has cultivated emotional intelligence, understanding the underlying motivations of their feelings and seeking to align those feelings with a higher moral and spiritual purpose. In this sense, Abbas Sadiq sees wisdom as a tool for elevating one's emotional life, bringing it in harmony with reason and ethical living. On the other hand, Le Bon's analysis of crowds in the crowd underscores the irrational nature of mass behavior. He argues that when the individuals are part of a crowd, their behavior is driven largely by emotions such as fear, excitement, or anger, rather than reason. The mass mind, according to Le Bon, is governed by unconscious desires and impulses, making it highly susceptible to manipulation by charismatic leaders or powerful ideologies. Le Bon contends that when individuals join a crowd, they are often swept by collective emotions that override their capacity for rational thought. This emotionalism leads to volatile, unpredictable behavior, which can be dangerous for both the crowd itself and society at large. While Hashan's Golo the White presents wisdom as a means of overcoming emotionalism and achieving a balanced rational life, Le Bon sees emotionalism as the driving force behind the destructive potential of mass movements. So both authors, Abbas Sadiq and Le Bon, basically agree that emotions play a crucial role in shaping human behavior. But Abbas Sadiq envisions emotional control through wisdom, while Le Bon sees emotionality as a weakness that undermines collective rationality. Third point is that has to be taken into consideration when comparing the parallels between these two books is the role of leadership and influence. So here both Abbas Sadiq and Le Bon consider the role of leadership in shaping human behavior, although their views diverge significantly in their focus. Abbas Sadiq views leadership as a source of positive influence, guiding individuals towards wisdom and ethical behavior. He believes that true leaders are those who inspire others to act virtuously, fostering an environment where personal development and collective well-being are prioritized. In this light, leadership in Abbas Sadiq's view becomes a mechanism for achieving higher moral and spiritual goals, aligning the individual with the divine and ethical values. Le Bon, on the other hand, views leadership with more skepticism, particularly when it comes to mass movements. He argues that leaders of crowds wield immense powers over the emotions and actions of the masses. In the crowd, Le Bon emphasizes the power of charismatic leaders to manipulate crowds, noting that such leaders often appeal to the primal instincts as emotions of the masses rather than engaging with their rational faculties. According to Le Bon, leaders can direct the energy of the crowd toward both constructive and destructive ends, depending on their ability to tap into the emotional currents of the group. Both authors recognize their leadership can be a powerful source, but their perspectives differ significantly. Abbas Sadiq Abdullah Hashem is optimistic about the role of leadership in guiding individuals towards wisdom, while Le Bon is more wary, viewing leadership as a potential tool for manipulation and control within mass movements. Fourth point, social change and individual responsibility. A key parallel between Golo the Wise and the crowd lies in the issue of social change and the individual's role in it. Abbas Sadiq is deeply concerned with the individual's responsibility to contribute positively to the society, asserting that personal wisdom can lead to social transformation. By cultivating wisdom, individuals can act as agents of change, influencing society in constructive ways. Abbas Sadiq believes that society can only progress when individuals become wiser, more ethical, and more reflective. The wise person, in his view, is someone who can effect change by being an example of moral clarity and intellectual depth. Le Bon, in contrast, takes a more pessimistic view of social change driven by mass movements. He argues that the collective actions of crowds often lead to irrational and destructive outcomes. However, Le Bon also acknowledges that mass movements can result in profound social transformation, whether through revolution, war, or collective actions, but these changes, he contends, are often not the result of rational planning or ethical deliberation. Rather, they are a result of emotional upheaval and the influence of powerful leaders. For Le Bon, social change driven by crowds is chaotic and unpredictable, often resulting in the erosion of individual responsibility and rationality. So to conclude, the conclusion is that bridging individual and collective forces, the works of Abdullah Hashim Abu Sadiq alayhi salam, the Qaim family of Muhammad alayhi salam, and Gustave Le Bon, through separated by their focus on individual wisdom versus collective psychology, both explore the interplay between the individual and the group. Hashim emphasizes the role of wisdom in maintaining individual integrity and ethical behavior in the face of societal pressures, while Le Bon examines the ways in which mass movements can overwhelm individual reason, leading to destructive social outcomes. Both works in their own way underscore the delicate balance between individual agency and the power of collective forces. Hashim offers a vision of empowerment through wisdom, while Le Bon offers a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked mass behavior. Ultimately, both authors highlight the importance of understanding the forces that shape human behavior, whether from within the individual or from external societal influences. In a world increasingly driven by mass movements and collective emotions, their work remains relevant in guiding individuals to navigate the complexities of both personal and collective life. So this analysis explores the overlapping themes and concepts between the two works. It shows that while Abu Sadiq and Le Bon approach their subjects from vastly different perspectives, both works are concerned with the profound impact of social dynamics on individual behavior and the ways in which wisdom or emotionalism can shape the world. Thank you for listening to me to these parallels and comparing both works. And I'm inviting all to read both books and see for yourself that what I just said to you is true. And have a nice day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salam Muhammad wa ali Muhammad alayhima wal magdid wa salam taslima. Have a nice day.
Kitab Sulejm ibn Qas al-Gilali, o kojoj se priča da svaki musliman koji vjeruje u 12 imama ili imamiju ili koji vjeruje u što je poslanik sallallahu alejhi ve sellem ostavio u svom testamentu, u stvari mora pročitati tu knjigu.